All right, so now it is day 2 of me having a little alone time in my house, and although I had big dreams and high hopes and aspirations of massively decluttering before my husband even got home, I didn't get up this morning. I just lay in bed. It was amazing. And I feel like as an American woman, I'm supposed to always, be self-sacrificing and working so hard, and like it's all about what I can accomplish and what I can get done and how wonderful I can put myself out there as being. And at the same time, we hear all these messages about how you're supposed to do self-care and take care of yourself and take time for yourself. But then we don't actually do it. So this morning I woke up, there was no one in my house. I didn't even have to let the dog out to go to the bathroom. So I just lay in bed and I played on my phone and I wasted time, only I didn't waste time. I spent time. I chose to spend time. I watched part of a documentary about the royal sisters, Margaret and Elizabeth, growing up. And it was kind of wonderful. And I talked to my family a little bit, talked to my husband a little bit. Then I told him to stop calling because this is my time and he's on his way home anyway. So my husband will be back soon, I think now in like 40 minutes. So I have 40 minutes of time to myself left. I have enjoyed what I've had. But I'm gonna look at what else I need to do in the mudroom, what questions I have for him when he gets back. We'll finish organizing this. I think this is going to end up being in conjunction with the front of the house. So now that I'm doing the mudroom, I'm thinking that I can't really finish the mudroom until I know what needs to be stored by the front door and what needs to be stored by the back door. So this project is increasing in scope, as all things in our house do. But the results are gonna be fabulous. And this is looking so beautiful. It is so hard to film in a small space, you guys. It's great, we have a space. I'm so happy that we have a mudroom or a room we could turn into a mudroom. I think this is meant to be like a breakfast nook, but you can eat in front of the sink for all I care. I want a mudroom. But it's hard to film in a small space because you're so close. You're like right here and there's nowhere else to put the camera and the tripod. But look at this. After much, much, much debate, we decided on open lockers. We have these lovely hooks and they're two-sided and they're pretty sturdy. I think they're for like a towel and a robe in the bathroom. The idea is that the kids can have, well, it was supposed to be like a backpack and a jacket, but we don't really use backpacks now, so it's gonna be like masks and jackets, I think. So let me go grab those from the front because there are way too many of those things piled up there, and our kids can start to actually keep the proper things back here. So in any normal winter, we would have our car coat, which is a thin puffy because you're not supposed to have them in the thicker jackets in their car seats. So a thin puffy for the car, and then just the one-piece snowsuit, because as I said in my earlier video where I raved about the one-piece snowsuits, I can post that up there. When they go to school in the winter in Minnesota, it's cold every single day. So they just wear the one-piece snowsuit to school, then they have everything they need. They don't forget anything. They always bring home their snow pants and don't leave them at school. So we really were surviving with a lightweight jacket and a snowsuit all the other years. Now this year we are using a thick jacket because we are often just going outside for walks and stuff and they don't want to put on their whole snowsuit. So we have 2 jackets and a snowsuit this year. It's a lot for me. But I'm gonna put our son's jacket here, our daughter's jacket here. Each kid now has a cute little basket where they can put extra mittens. I'm gonna put their sunglasses in here. Our daughter's already got hers packed up. Oh, excellent, so proud. She's got her sunglasses. Oh, of course it's dirty up there. Ah! Please hold. All right, so our daughter has, I would say, hats that she wears less often in here, so that's probably good because we often go out the front door. So I wonder if there are some of our sons that I could put there. And then this is cute. Now, what was gonna go here? Masks. All right, so we've got some of our masks. They should each have one here. That's great, I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, I was gonna find stuff for our son. I couldn't find that much for him. I think he packed it all when they went to the cabin. So I just found an extra hat that he uses mostly for skiing, so we'll put that in there. This is looking good, we're calling that finished. In this cupboard, we still need to install a shelf, which I think is what this wood here is. Let's see if this fits. I think, yeah, that's gonna go there. That'll be excellent, because that'll give me a lot more storage. Our vacuums aren't nearly tall enough to fill that whole thing. The other thing that I'm thinking I want, and I have some in the basement because I don't get rid of things, I'm not so great at that, is I think I'm gonna put a hook somewhere in here that we could hang bags, because we always have, do you always have so many bags? And then I get rid of them, like I'll recycle some paper grocery bags and then I need a bunch of them. So I am gonna keep a bunch of bags because as I get rid of stuff, it's nice to have bags to put things in. And then we always have, you know, a few cloth bags. But I need somewhere to put that, and this isn't pretty. I don't want this out. This is ugly. Ugly things should be tucked away. So this cupboard can be vacuum, mop, bags, and then a shelf, probably with some cleaning stuff up there. Actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, I'm gonna put my purse up there because I don't want it just hanging on a hook by the back door, just out. For security purposes, you're not supposed to have your keys, wallet, cell phone, and purse visible from your door because that might encourage people. All right, these cubbies down here are custom-sized boot cupboards. Oh, my husband has his boots on, so I can't show you. We made this as big as we possibly could because my husband's winter boots are humongous and they barely fit in here. He actually has to angle them a little, which is frustrating, but we really didn't want this to come out any farther. So we made these custom size. There are 2 adult and 2 kid. So yes, when they are big, when they're teenagers, they might not be able to fit their winter boots in here, but they still will be able to put some shoes in here. And I had the brilliant idea, because you know, I'm a genius, of making shelves. In the summer, each of us will have a shelf that goes in and there are pegs so we can adjust the height for our own custom settings here. And then we'll be able to store shoes up and down. But in the winter, with winter boots, I hate when you come in the back door and you just like trip over everybody's shoes. Now, wet winter boots, that still probably will happen, but I am thinking I might put some contact paper or something here. If you have any ideas or tips, let me know. But I thought if I put something that could get wet here instead of just the wood for the winter, that might encourage people to just slap their big wet boots in there. And the radiator's right behind it, so that's gonna dry out our boots much faster than they normally would dry out. So, added bonus. Alrighty, so this is my cubby, and check that out. Isn't that great? They just fit in there and they'll be warm and toasty from the radiator. I took all of the keys for the house out of this because it's just like the tiniest bit too annoying to keep them in here. But again, I didn't want all of our keys to be visible from the back door. So I had put this here so that we could slide it out and plunk our keys in. I want it to be easy, but also hidden, that's a hard combination. What I ended up doing was removing, God, I'm so bad, because what did I do with this? I put this here. I was like, oh, this looks handy. We could use this for something else. What if someday we want to reuse this valet that my husband's had for years and doesn't use? What if I want to put it back on and use it? I saved the screws and everything. I'm out of my mind. This is so hard for me. Throw it away, Kate, throw it away. Like, this cannot stop me from having a simple decluttered home. Is this useful? Like what? No. No. Gotta get rid of that. But this turned out great. So I just took the hinges off of here and then we can plop our car keys in here. These are extra keys and keys for other things in our life. And it used to have a little drawer in here, but instead of attaching a handle, I realized you can just pull on this. And that is easy and simple. And I hope, sometimes you have to get a system and try it and then realize it doesn't work. I hope this system we realize does work. So the idea is you come in the back door. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. You've got your keys. You always know where to put them. That was really easy, right? And getting them out, also easy. The question is, can you do it one-handed? If you're carrying a bunch of stuff. I think so. And I even put little felties on the bottom so I won't scrape my new cabinet. This is not pretty. This is a dog puzzle where you put treats under and the dog finds them. I don't know where to put this. I don't really want this visible, but I don't want it up high because sometimes I just tell the kids, oh, the dog needs some entertainment, go fill up her puzzle, and that's something that they can do and help with. So this needs a new home. Or it too could be in a container, but in here so that it's not so ugly. I don't like when things are ugly. I mean, this is a very functional room. It's supposed to be functional, but also we've spent so many hours building it that I want it to be pretty. And I'm not sure what else goes in here, but I think I will soon find out as we declutter and organize and rehome other things in the house. We have 2 sets of earmuffs for the kids. We do a lot of projects that are loud that they need these for, but also if you have a kid who has any level of sensory processing disorder, these can be amazing. I saw one minimalist video where the woman said she owned 1 pen. And I was like, yeah, that's not, then I would own 0 pens and I'd be very mad at you for saying that you should own 1 pen. I do at least try and throw away the ones that don't work, and when I was organizing, I removed a tent stake that needs to go with the camping stuff, not in my pen cup. So that goes there. This ended up being chargers, and I have 2 categories within here, which is extra bricks and dongles. Those are called dongles, right? And then the actual charging cords. What I did was I took out everything that was a duplicate and moved it. Up here I've just got office supplies. It's 2020, we don't have a lot of office supplies, but tape is a really big thing in our house, and Post-it notes, and then always, 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 a tape measure. I can't tell you, I think I use a tape measure every single day. So it might not be a must for you, but it is definitely a must for us. This is like cards, thank you notes, stamps, envelopes. All right, it's looking really good. I'm feeling good about it. I think we just need to decide what else needs to live atop. So Marcus got home and we worked together to finish up some organization in the mudroom. And the funny thing is, this part here is us spending, I kid you not, like 20 minutes deciding where to hang our aprons. We just felt like they were bulky and there wasn't a good place to put them. What we ended up deciding on was ordering a very strong magnetic hook that we put on the side of our refrigerator, and we've been hanging them there ever since, and that has actually worked out really, really great. Which is nice because the aprons were never meant to go by the back door. That's just where there were hooks available. Then we got to the task of installing the last shelf in the new broom cupboard. We actually had to buy a whole new piece of wood because we wanted it to fit really well, and the other one wasn't actually wide enough, so we had to buy a bigger one and then cut it down because of course nothing can just be one single step. And Marcus and I both agree, we like things done well. We want things done properly so that they don't drive us nuts for the rest of our lives, and we're planning on living here for a very long time, so we wanted to do it the right way. So after we got that shelf installed, then it was time to clean up and finish putting things away. We decided that that upper cabinet is going to be for ice skates and adult snow pants, so things that we use often in the winter, but not so often that they need to be actually out and accessible for the kids. As I got to the end of this mudroom project, I realized there were just a few tiny things left to do, and that for me, getting those few things done would really make the project feel complete. Sometimes I have to just kind of let my perfectionistic tendencies sneak through so that I can be satisfied with something when it's finished. I try and limit this because there's really just not time to be perfect in life most of the time. But one of the things that I did was I did get this drawer liner from someone on Buy Nothing, and I trimmed it to fit, and then honestly just hot glued it into these cubbies. I had mentioned earlier that I wanted something so that we could put our wet boots into the cubbies rather than letting them dry on the rug and then putting them into the cubbies, because I knew that that would just mean that the cubbies never had boots in them, and they are specifically for boots. So I got this plastic drawer liner for free, cut it to size, got out my super sticky hot glue, and glued these in. Another thing I did was I put just the tiniest bit of Velcro inside this cubby and put Velcro on the other side of this brush that goes with the vacuum so that it won't just be floating around in there and always missing when we need it. The very last thing I did was I took the tiniest bit of sticky magnet tape and put it on my eraser for my blackboard so that it doesn't have to sit on the windowsill. Some finishing touches in this space were also getting the dead bug out of the light fixture that had been there for I can't even tell you how many months, and doing a final clean, including washing the windows, which I hate doing, but does make a big difference, especially when the sun is finally out again in Minnesota. So this is the big reveal. This is what we are able to maintain in this space. Yes, sometimes it gets cluttered. Yes, sometimes I still have to put things away, but at least now I know where things go, and it's less annoying to me when my family doesn't put their things away because I can just toss them in the space that they're supposed to be in. And the next time they go to look for them, they might look there because we're starting to develop some new habits. So that part of it's been really nice. They don't have to ask me where things are if they're put away. So let's look at what we've got here. So this turned out beautifully. As you can see, there's some amount of visual clutter, but I think that In a mudroom, that's just how it's going to be. If you're actually using the room as a mudroom, it's never gonna look like the Pinterest perfect pictures that you see online. It's going to look like people live there, which they do. Overall, I'm absolutely thrilled with how this project turned out. As you can see, it was more of a project than just a decluttering or a journey toward minimalism, because this area of the house needed to be just redone completely for it to really work for our family. But when you think about it, we went from this, well, actually this, because this is what was there when we moved in, to this, then this, and now finally this. We've really made a lot of progress. This is my big, beautiful final reveal, because it's always nice to have a satisfying end to a project. And I have to say that I'm thrilled with this. I'm excited to move on to other areas of our house. If you stayed till the end of the video, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. I know this was a long one, but it was also a really big project, and it was multi-step, and it was definitely something where I went 2 steps forward and 1 step back, or 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, as you saw when my family just threw everything on the floor and we didn't know where things went yet. So we're still in our decluttering journey. It's of course taking longer than I wanted it to, longer than I thought it needed to, but that's also life during COVID and with distance learning and everything else that life keeps throwing at us these days. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below. I am so grateful for your attention. See you next time, guys. Until then, you've got this, mamas.